Roger, I know you've got a planning meeting just about to go into that. First thing on the agenda might be how to cope without Andrew Hall for a few weeks.
Yeah, well, it's good that we know that now though, Tom, and obviously Jamie and the boys can plan for that.
Big step up for Jose Gear, promotion.
You know, it will be. He was obviously named vice-captain when we named the team, so Jose will get the opportunity to captain the team for that first game against the Chiefs.
And even though he can't play, Andrew will still be able to help develop the team anyway in the pre-season.
Yeah, well, in your leadership group, whether you're injured or out for disciplinary reasons, you've still got a big part to play in the team. And obviously, Andrew, having just been named captain, is a massive part of this team and what we want to achieve next year.
Well, let's look at a lot of the positives that we've got to look forward to. First of all, pre-season ticket sales, season ticket holders looking very good.
Yeah, no, look, really positive. We went out to market early, obviously operating as a separate entity now from the provincial unions. You know, we're a 12-month of the year business, and like other professional sports around the world, you know, we're in the market. We need to be in the market for more than a month leading into our season, and that's what we've been doing in the past. So this year we went out 1st of August, and yeah, results have been really good. I think we've had a 95% renewal of last year's members and an increase on that as well. So we'll end up with already 6,000 people sitting in these seats at the start of the season without selling any more seats, and we only went out to above the line promotion on Monday. So that's the first of our public sales of these tickets. So it's great news.
It's an incredible turnaround, isn't it? 3 years ago, you wouldn't have had 1,000 tickets pre-sold.
No, we had 800 pre-sold 3 years ago, so it's a fantastic turnaround, and I think a big part of it has to be said is about the stadium and what a great experience people are having in it. But I'd like to think that the excitement and the expectations around the Highlanders of 2013 is having a big part to play in it as well.
We'll talk about that in a moment, but just go back to the stadium, the zoo. Was it a successful experiment? It looked a lot of fun, but commercially good for you?
Yeah, great. You know, it's worked really well. We wanted to be able to replace the terraces, and the guys come up with this concept of the zoo, and it's worked extremely well. It has a number of elements to it, and it's excited the students. We only open it when the university's on. If it's a holiday, we don't. And I think that's added to it as well, and it's a bit like the scarcity of demand has increased the numbers of people that are there, and we've got some big plans for it this year. And it's although we don't charge the students a lot to go there, we've found that companies around the province and around the country have really wanted to get in behind it, so it's ended up being a really viable product for us.
I'm guessing it'll be open on the first fixture, which is the end of orientation week.
Yeah, well, interestingly enough, we've already got 3,000 of the 4,500 seats sold for that for the zoo for that game already through our university contacts. So yeah, it's going to really go off in that first game.
Look at some of the average crowds here last year, 16,000, something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was about 16,700 was our average crowd. So that's a huge up from the previous year, which is about 11, and the year before that was 5. So, you know, our goal that next year is to have an average crowd of 20. And if we can do that, then, you know, 20,000 is a good crowd. And in this environment here, a fantastic experience for the fans that come.
And to put that in perspective, that 16 average included Invercargill game, which would have only had about 7 or 8.
Yeah, no, it did, and sort of one of our goals this year is to make sure that, you know, we get that 6 or 7 or 8 in Invercargill up to 10 if we can, because one, it helps the averages, but also makes it a hell of a lot more viable to continue bringing a game there, which is what we want to do as a franchise.
And let's go back to the marquee signings, which are obviously the draw cards, and you think there's a forward and a back in Thorne and Nonu that the students are going to love for a start.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look, I mean, a little bit of luck in both those, but we think the Tony Woodcock signing was a huge one as well, and I think it proves that if you can create a really good environment and that along with the players, I mean, the peer pressure, don't underestimate what Andrew Hall's signing did to get Tony Woodcock here. And then the likes of Brad Thorne and Ma Nonu, the same, you know, like when they've got players that are mates, I mean, it's been proven in all sport that people want to play with their friends, and what we're finding is, you know, the Tamati Allison and Jose Gear situation was the same, the Woodcock Hoare, and even now with Nonu and the boys, because they're friends and they know there's a good environment and a great coach, then they're prepared to be here. And obviously they know that the 7 games that we play here are going to be played in perfect conditions.
And these guys are selling to their friends something they're obviously convinced about.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think everybody that lives in this part of the world knows that it's not a bad part of the world to live in, and for young people, and these guys, young people that are bringing up young families, it's a great place to live in. And that, along with now a great stadium and a pretty good rugby side, there's a really good reason for those guys to come here.
But some extra pressure comes with that, doesn't it? Extra responsibility and expectation, given how good the team looks.
Yeah, I don't know about the pressure, Tom, but I mean expectation definitely. I mean, you read it, and we read it in the inherited in the media. From our perspective, we have high expectations of ourselves and increased expectations based on the colour of our team, and we wouldn't expect anything else. But we also expect the public and the fans to have those sorts of expectations as well.
And also the players you brought in, they've got 300-400 international caps between them. Mm-hmm. They're used to the pressure.
Yeah, well, definitely, but also in their own mind, I mean, they've got high expectations of themselves, and that's one of the things that we identified 3 years ago, that we needed to lift our own expectations and the public's of what they expected from the Highlanders, and so, we're quite comfortable with that.
And again, looking at ticket sales, first game, Chiefs, couldn't really ask for a better matchup, a team you beat last year, and also they're the reigning champions.
Yeah, and orientation week to go with it. I mean, we're pretty confident that we'll sell that game out, and we're pretty keen to do the same for the Hurricanes. We've got a really good draw in that we have the Chiefs here orientation week, and then we've got a triple weight of Invercargill, and we'd like to think at that stage with the hype around the team, and obviously like to think also that at that stage we'll have a couple of performances under our belt, or at least one, that we had a really good crowd down there, and then come back here to try and do the same again. And if we can build on that after that from a performance perspective, then I think we'll meet our expectation around an average crowd of 20,000.
And you have to say the change to the Super 15 that saw the New Zealand teams play home and away is one of the huge positive factors that's come out of it recently.
Yeah, I think from a commercial perspective it's a huge positive. I don't know whether the players would say the same, because I think the New Zealand conference is pretty tough and they beat each other up every time they play each other. So that's made it a little bit tougher, but in saying that, from a commercial perspective, we all get the opportunity to play each other twice, and once at home, and the crowds in each of those games last year proved that it's worthwhile.
So, in summary, a great Christmas present would be a Highlander season pass from the sound of it.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, we'd obviously, the support, it's no surprise that the support here definitely helps us, and so the more of those season passes we sell and the more people we've got every week would be great for the team.